What is it like to have psychic visions? Alright, there are 3 stages to break it down. I wrote it down in my notes, so that's what I'm looking at. And I'm just going to explain to you really quickly. There are 3 stages, and the first of the stages to entering psychic trance is to develop your ability to induce a trance or trance-like state. So the first stage would be entering the trance, and it is often seen as an energetic rising or refining into a higher state of motion, higher vibrational capacity, higher vibrational form of your general understanding of life, your general perception. The first stage of entering a place where you can induce a psychic vision, the first stage of that would be to go into trance. And you need to have a reliable method for inducing trance or trance-like states. And the oldest one that we know is drumming, the shaman drummer in circles, in gatherings. Dance and music are very effective for inducing trance. Exhaustion is a very good way to induce trance, as it doesn't require anything outside of your body, using your body, getting, the physical motion and working yourself all the way out, and that will relax your body at the same time that it tires it, and you will be more open to entering a trance state. So that would be the first stage of a psychic vision. And of course, there are a lot of ways to enter a trance or create the atmosphere that would lead to a trance. But those are the few that I'll mention right now. So that's the first stage, and it is often experienced as an energetic rising or coming up into something, kind of a fizzing, a bubbling kind of feeling, a warmth, and like a rising of warm air. And this is you entering the highest level of vibrational possibility for us people, living creatures, embodied creatures on planet Earth. So it's often described as an energetic rising into, another realm or place in which you can peep through a spiritual tunnel or a light vortex. You can peep into this window into other realms, peer into it as though you are gazing from afar, but you are still having your feet on the ground. And that is where I'll segue to the second stage, is to begin the noting of what you see in a way that has meaning for you in your personal life, in your inner spiritual discoveries, in your inner spiritual journeys, what has meaning for you in your inner life. So that's the key word, is to note what has meaning, and that's very personal as to what a person can derive meaning from. It's not the same for everyone. It's very different for different people, different types and personalities of people. That's why it's unique to the individual. There's so many descriptions, types of descriptions, so many schools of thought in various areas of the spiritual communities, and whole different religions about what are the true methods, what are the right methods. There are whole communities. So the idea is to get into the habit of noting what has meaning to you personally, since that may change with time, that may change with location and energy levels according to the season or whatever it might be. It is something that may change, so you require being flexible, keeping a fluidinous type of mentality, flexibility and fluidity. You stay in motion. So the second stage of the psychic vision is to be noting actively with your mind whatever is interesting to you, piques something to you, inspires you, or comes as like something that you've experienced in the past as a warning or an omen or just a symbol for something. And all the symbols are inherently neutral. It's you that are deriving meaning from each of these symbols. And, you know, that's very personal. It's highly personal. It's not something anyone else can tell you, even a book, not even someone who has the greatest of prestige in spiritual communities. It's very personal what you derive from what you have seen in terms of symbol. So you are catching symbols with your active inner eye, mentally noting it, and you're keeping in motion, keeping fluid and flexible as you traverse this inner landscape. So the third stage of the psychic vision is to exit, and in a different way that you came. That is keeping proper astral hygiene. It is making sure that you are leaving in a state of grace, as though it were a physical plane, though not one on the earth physical plane, a metaphysical plane. Metaphysical, that's a very widely used word for spiritual mechanics, spiritual studies, metaphysical, because it is a type of physical location, but it is not an earthly physical location. It is metaphysical. So you want to keep good astral hygiene, good astral housekeeping, and not to leave in a state where you are startled or too quick to be relevant to you or to anyone you try to share this vision with. So you want to begin this whole enterprise with a good amount of energy, as it takes effort to maintain the vision, and you are better to leave the vision before you have tired yourself out completely, so that you can walk away with something that is meaningful to yourself. And it is important to know that even experienced psychics, metaphysicians, spiritual practitioners might frighten themselves with the odd vision or visitation, and it's not something to be worried about. You know, even the experts will stumble sometimes, and that you know that you are spiritually sovereign regardless of what you encounter. So remember that line. So to go over again the 3 phases of a psychic vision: entering trance, noting something of meaning, and exiting a different way that you came. So those are the 3 things to note or acknowledge that you have experienced as within a psychic vision. And a bonus to all of this, if you are serious about developing this practice, is that you will start to keep a record of anything and everything you have seen, saw, heard, felt, or experienced in any of your different inner senses. You will keep a detailed record. You will start small, you'll write whatever you noted, move on, and that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. There are 3 parts, and the bonus is that you will record anything that you have noted to be meaningful to you at this time, and now you'll have a record as well. A really good one.